Hey everybody, clearing. All right, here we go with a Divine Masculine check-in. We are going to dive into emotions first. I haven't really seen this. I think one other time I've been asked to lead with this emotional deck. So I heard the masculines are really getting in touch with their emotions right now. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. It's never felt more realistic for them to bridge, is what I'm hearing. So thank you, Divine Creator, for using me as a channel of only the highest, most beneficial information coming through. What's going on for the amazing, lovely DMs? Masculine, strong, attractive, wonderful DMs. And what's going on emotionally for them? And what is going on in their physical tied to those emotions? Emotional awakening, I just heard. What is the energy of the connections? What is this doing, vice versa, in the energy? How is it related to the energetic development of the connection with DF? And what do the DFs need to know about this energy? All right. Conscious mind about the connections. Ooh, failure. I understand that a mistake is only an opportunity to learn with the Three of Water. Three of Water to me is my unconditional friendship. It's free-flowing emotions going back and forth. Sometimes I read it as third party, so it can kind of harken back to third party drama or things that got in the mix here. Failure might be referencing masculines having chosen other energies or feeling limited by the DF having other energies, both if it resonates. There's something here. It doesn't have to be other people. It can just be that the emotional blockages that prevented true emotional sharing were the failure. But masculines, you're processing here that it's a mistake is only an opportunity to learn. So you can repair here because unconditional friendship, you know, I hear right now, I hear like all those famous movies where they're vowing and they're saying, I married my best friend. This is that amicable energy. You cannot dash a divine connection. If it's actual love, you can't screw it up. Your human can't get enough in the way. And in many ways, for those who much is forgiven, much love is gained. What is this connected to in the energy of the connection? Spiritualization of matter and reflected light. This is the mirroring back and forth. This is the becoming righteous, the spiritualization of matter, taking the flesh and making it holy. I just heard. What do the feminines need to know? Three of Swords. This heartache has to be purged out. That's what's purged out when we become spiritualized flesh, when we are redeemed. And so all of this, no more. This is the healing. When we, hold up in stubborn pride about the heartaches, about the sin, about the lack of righteousness, about the mistakes, we perpetuate this because it validates and it says, yep, that's all there was. That's everything that's the level I could get to. But these masculines are doing the unthinkable, unimaginable, and they are actually saying, no, I could just learn from it. I don't need to take that as an answer. So feminines, this real raw edge of deal breaker energy doesn't need to stay there because these masculines are divine. They are going to rise up and above this. What can we see for how these masculines are feeling about their DF consciously? Discipline. I can accomplish what I set my mind to. Wow. This being in the inverse, I heard dropping into their heart. So it's not so much a strategy anymore. It's more of a heart-based leading. So this is backing up the emotional softening, the emotional awakening, and we get 10 of Earth, long-term success. So these masculines know that you offer the ideal partnership for the long-term feminines, and they don't have to strategize and micromanage and mitigate harm. They can drop into their heart and trust. Wow, there's trust coming in for the masculines. What is this energetically doing? Transcendence, prayerfulness, serenity. So this is allowing them to do what they need to be accountable for, and also let you come through the ranks of what you need to be accountable for. I often will hear about the serenity prayer here. Google that if you don't know what that is. But this really is, I mean, to each their own, but trusting that it works together. It's not at odds. So transcending that polarizing idea of sovereignty and individuality, and now making it something that actually works together. What do the feminines need to know? You're safe, you're protected. Doesn't matter what others would think or say or do. You are in this bubble of protection. Stay in your ohm. Stay in your happy place. All this heartache is being eradicated. The process of these connections playing out over time and evolving the way they do is the eradication of heartache from romantic connections. We are those specialists that are learning how to do that. Okay, what can we see on the heart space? Patience. I accept that everything happens in divine order. So these masculines are tapping into the long suffering, the patience. They're no longer feeling like this can be stolen from them. Check out the feminine reading, because the feminines really do think that the masculines might truly believe it's done. But Page of Water, this is the surrender. So it's like a deep breath energy, like the capacity expanding. So on the heart space, these masculines are taking a deep breath and going deeper into love than they've ever been before. What is the energy with this? Peace, healing, gentleness, non-judgment. Yeah, and we just got serenity. So these masculines are embracing that this is the real deal. Oh, masculines, yeah, doesn't it feel good? Let's do it together. Let's do it together. We are doing it together, even though we are not in physical, full-on harmonious unions yet. In many ways, if you're watching this, you're likely still working through some aspect. Beautiful. Beautiful. We are doing it together. Let's do it more together. Yes, so feminines, just keep working on your due diligence, what you've got going on, specifically career, finances, money choices, money story, doing it on your own, becoming self-sufficient, finding your path of abundance, your gifts, your talents, applying yourself, budgeting, taking care of investing, getting out of debt. All of these things are very much needed. They are all connected with your big picture, your karma prior to, you know, coming together to union with your masculine. They are still the things you have to work out. If you don't heal that stuff, you'll bring unhealed energy into your connection with your masculine, and there will be an imbalance going on there. So continue to see what those next level balancing things are that you need to consider. What are these masculines seeing on the heart space for their feminine? Ooh, grief in the inverse. We got the grief card in the feminine reading for what the feminines were thinking the masculines were dealing with. And we saw the masculines swooping in and saying, ha ha ha, not so fast, that's not where I'm at. And here we have grief turned into the inverse. So on the heart space, there's something resilient coming in. These masculines are really seeing this as unconditional love. So I understand that losing something is an opportunity to appreciate it. This is implying that these masculines have had to go to the brink in order to really appreciate their divine feminine. Okay, Ace of Water. This is the unconditional love, masculines, that redeems you, that overcomes all of the human things that may have happened, the failures, the mistakes, the clumsiness, mishandling this connection, or, you know, all other connections. Before we know better, we don't do better. So this connection is helping give everyone the chance to really rise and do better. What is the energy here? Sophistication, ingenuity, originality, and elegance. Yes, this is the finesse. This is the connection that we get to do the tango, the polish, the real deal dance. What do the feminines need to know? This is destined. It has had to play out this way because of the lessons, because of the foundation, because of the growth, because of the personal accountability needed for every being to come into their sovereign karmic accountability. Okay, what can we see for what these masculines want to manifest Okay, adversity. I accept that the challenges are the best way to learn. So that's in the inverse. So they want to manifest the troubled times being over and now being able to learn from these mistakes, from the adversity, and get to the fun part, get to the good part. And patience. So they want to continue to manifest the proper rate, the proper speed, the proper assessment of things so that they don't cause any insult to injury going forward. They really want to do this right. What is the energy connecting the two? Spiritual sovereignty, astral travel, and timelessness. Yeah, so we're getting those messages of feminines really taking care of your own accountability, and the masculines in their way overcoming the mistakes and forgiving themselves and believing that they can come through that with flying colors and now learn from those things to get it right. That's exactly what we're seeing here. Spiritual sovereignty means that we believe in the growth of both, that we are matching that growth to prepare for union. Beautiful. And advice for feminines? Yes, we need this reciprocity. You've always wanted that. You've always sensed it could be possible with your masculine. And this is absolutely foreshadowing that it's en route. The card is on the table. It's not time to be seeing that just yet. It takes both of these paths of healing, you balancing out your life in your own right to a place of accuracy and grounding, and same with the masculines. They have to see themselves as these redeemed beings who are no longer going to make sloppy mistakes. Everybody, it's a growth in process, or in progress, process, whatever. But it's happening. And this is the real time look at where we're at with that. What can we see for the actions these masculines are taking? Health. I will honor the physical vessel that enshrines my soul. What I'm getting from this in the inverse is that masculines are suddenly seeing that when they put themselves in stressful situations, or they hang out with people who are bad influences, or they, keeping up with the Joneses, or certain karmic friend groups, just hanging around with those individuals is bad for their health. Or those paradigms, those thoughts, their mindset, bad for their health. They're starting to see that things that they didn't directly think were related to their health, they may be exercising, they may be eating right, but if they've still got toxicity around them, that's bad for their health. So they're starting to see in a bigger picture what's bad for their health. Interesting. And the star. So right now, something is causing these masculines to feel foolish, I'm hearing, because they didn't realize how something was hypocritical, toxic, something they were investing in, some way of trying to get ahead was stressing them out more than it's worth. And that's happening in real time. It's not a tower moment. It's like the tower has already happened. And now this emerging awareness that they can do things differently for their longevity, for their health. Life is too short to continue the broken paradigms, and adhering to those things is what I'm hearing in that message. So these masculines are vowing to step away from the things that actually are bad for their health, emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually. They're seeing this on a broader level. What's the energy between the two? Commitment, connection, flexibility, and resolution. So this really is forging authentic connection where it's due. So these connections are good for our health. And the masculines know when they unhook from the things that are bad for their health, they can align with things that are good for their health. But they needed to know what the difference was, because their conditioning told them certain ways of being was what was up. But those lead to death energies. And so aliveness and life affirming connections, and it's easy to commit to that when you know the difference between those things. So these masculines are understanding the difference between those things. Feminines, this is in the 3D. So the energetic stuff has had to be seen, balanced out, processed in order for these connections to come into the 3D. So just watch, it's going to come in. These are the necessary shifts in order to have reciprocity. What can we see for the biggest challenge for these masculines emotionally? Purpose. So it's in the inverse. I know what I'm here to do. So this is the emerging purpose that you are on the path to finding, masculines. Don't give up. Right now it's the challenge because you're transitioning into this purpose away from more of the worldly pursuits and the worldly egoic toxic situations. It doesn't mean that they are horribly toxic. Usually the devil energies are things that are not too toxic, right? We don't think that they're 911 energies, so we stick in them a lot longer because there's no reason not to. It's that kind of stuff that zaps our life force energy and slowly like milks off of us. That's what I'm hearing. So your extraordinary life is emerging here, but this challenge is that you're not in it yet. You're en route and it feels uncertain. It feels like a growth curve. It feels like you hope you're doing the right thing, but stick with it. And then we get 3 of fire. So be open, keep searching, keep pointing your true north compass towards this purpose. Don't give up. How is this affecting the connections? Union. So this is bringing you into alignment with your highest path masculines and your union with your feminine. Clarity, knowledge, channeling, and unification. When we remove ourselves from the things that are mediocre, playing small, okay, all right, settling energies, we open up to the pure clarity for things that are next level, that are abundant, that are wisdom and knowledge here, and union, the things that are good for us. Advice for the feminines: keep ending your own burden. This came out in the feminine read too. So this is saying, feminines, there are still things that you can clear on your side of the energy that are making your life smoother in your own right, more free flowing, more spontaneous, more, untethered from anything that binds you, anything that is imbalanced in your life. Unhook from it. You can have your dream life. Keep going. What can we see for the solution to this path of purpose that's not quite established for the masculine? Service. I feel good when I can help others. So let that be encouragement that your purpose is emerging so you can be in service and help others, masculines. And 5 of fire. So this is letting go of those who don't want or need your help, or those who, try to help you. All that karmic stuff where it has the facade of help, that it's like creating dramas to clear them up, to feel like I'm hearing things like inciting arguments, or I'm really clearly getting poly dynamics with multiple people in open relationships and starting drama and jealousy just to feel like we smoothed it out so that it can be overcome. So masculines, if you've been distracted by kind of poly dynamic groups, or that kind of allure of open relationships, that's not really helping others. That's like perpetuating in that regard. Some of it maybe does support, but I am getting a very specific message for those who have been kind of hypnotized by that allure, that multiple partners, that are okay with everybody having multiple partners. There are some masculines that are seeing through that's not really helpful. It's just drama loops. And, there is some mystique saying, oh, then we won't be bound into certain control paradigms. Nobody can control who I can be with. Masculines do go through this kind of sexual awakening and seeing that those things, not all that glitters is gold. There is a deeper purpose when you actually tune into your God-given purpose. You transcend out of those kind of drama loops I'm getting for some. So that's not going to resonate for everyone. But if that's not a sexual message, it's also being bound to family dynamics, or feeling like you have to self-sacrifice for the greater good with friend groups, financial obligations, generational family obligations. There's so many things that you can look at that are of true service, that you may have thought you had a duty to fulfill in certain ways. So if you're financially tied, masculines, and it really feels like drudgery, your heart's not in it, remove yourself. Find a way to take yourself out of those equations, because it's not actually helping anyone. Your intuition, your gut instinct about if things feel burdensome or not, is your biggest cue if something is high functioning and truly helpful, or if it's actually a broken paradigm and it's an expectation or duty. Seek alternative solutions. Remove yourself from those things, because if you are being squeezed that way, it's not aligned, it's not divine. Sometimes we do need to go through the process of unhooking from those things so we see how to remove ourselves, and so we see the paths of freedom, so that we know we can get out of things and we feel that safety, we feel that maturity. We have to learn that we are resilient, and no matter where we're at, we can get to the solution from where we're at. And so sometimes, yes, we do get into situations that we were very much meant to, so we can learn that skill. But regardless of what it is, masculines come into alignment, step into purpose, open up to being of actual service, not just the illusion of service. That's the solution here. What a deep message. Amazing. What can we see for the energy between? Gate of returning. So whatever this is, masculines, that you have been entrapped in thinking it was a purposeful thing, and now you're maturing into a more purposeful thing. This, feminines, is bringing your masculine back around, because obviously those things that they've been hooked into have not been conducive to these connections, and obviously those things would need to end so that they could come through with the wisdom, with the lessons, and back into this connection. And message for the feminines: separation is an illusion. We have to learn this stuff, and this is saying that a coming in from out of the cold. So this is, for many, for most, this is a promise that this is coming in the energy, that the masculines have had to go through this rite of passage in order to come full circle and mean it with all their heart, to see the wisdom, to not be just theory or guesswork. It's the real deal here. So masculines, yes, this is, your feminine will take you back after all has been said and done, especially if you come in knowing with clarity and being able to communicate that you were blind and now you see. Then, that's the only way. That's the only way. What is the direction in the next few weeks? Gratitude. I'm thankful for this life and the opportunities it presents. So masculines are going to be in so much gratitude that they can't help but share that joy with their feminines. 10 of fire, this is the ending of the burden. So I'm hearing the final dance of the karma. And the masculines, the feminines have been getting this 10 of wands for ending the karma on our sides, and the masculines here are doing their share by cleaning up their act, cleaning up their lives. That is absolutely good. Fire, purification by fire. Lunar progressor, emotional balance, compassionate non-attachment, gratitude. We're getting into balance. We're getting into mastery. What does this mean for the feminines? Dry your crying eyes. This is lemonade out of lemons. This is not the mourning grief. We got this card heavily for the feminines, thinking that the masculines think it's done and gone. This is saying, no, feminines. So these two readings work very closely together. Feminines, don't you fret that your masculine thinks this is it. This love is so powerful, it's causing them to see the very minutia of what they've been giving away their power to. And now they're coming back in. They are en route. They're coming home. These masculines are coming home. Okay, many blessings. Bye for now.